is the Army Hour. Today, the War Department again invites you to listen to a specially arranged program. Each week, the Army Hour brings you first-hand reports direct from the scenes of action. Today, we take you to one of the largest of the many American colleges turning out officers for the United States Army. A college into which young America goes as a boy, emerges after 4 rigorous years a man trained to lead into action his fellow Americans on any of the battlefields of this global war. Come in, Bill Stern.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bill Stern speaking from Kyle Field on the campus of Texas A&M at College Station in Texas. Mr. and Mrs. America, here is the Agricultural and Mechanical College of Texas, an institution that not only breeds great fighting men, but men who are building a country well worth fighting for. This is the campus from which came General George F. Moore, an Aggie who was in command of Corregidor's Coast Artillery during its heroic resistance against the armed might of Japan. When General Jimmy Doolittle bombed Tokyo, his second in command that day was Lieutenant Colonel John A. Hilger, who graduated in '32. In the Battle of Midway, the defeat of the Japanese fleet was observed by an Aggie swimming star, Ensign G.H. Gay, Jr., sole survivor of the famous Torpedo Squadron 8. Another Aggie, Captain E.J. Crane, was the first American officer to lead his Marines ashore in a smashing attack that re-won the Solomons for the United Nations. Remember the famous report, sighted sub sank same? That was Lieutenant Thomas C. Day of the Army Air Corps, another Aggie. So, here we are in Aggie land, the beloved alma mater of Texas farmers, engineers, and soldiers. Listen to their great fighting song, sung by 7,000 officer cadets. Today, 7,856 Aggies are officers serving with our armed forces. 16 are generals. More than a score of Aggies have been decorated for heroism. 96 have been killed in action so far in this global war. I wonder how many fighting Aggies are listening to me right now.
I thought we started already.
Maybe I should have asked him to wait for you. Sit down. Be quiet.
Colonel Craig, the spotters report another flock of Jap bombers headed this way, sir.
Keep contact.
Yes, sir.
Japanese force sighted.
Mrs. America, is the spirit of Texas A&M. A spirit that hits you like a high-explosive shell the moment you come through the campus gates. And it's one of the reasons why the Army Hour is on this campus, to pay tribute not only to the college, but also to a former student who, in his own unusual way, demonstrated uniquely the thing above all that Texas A&M stands for. That is loyalty. Let me take you back a few years, to the time when the thunderclouds of war were rolling up over Europe and Asia, but had not yet cast their shadows on an inconspicuous young American, a youngster of 19 named Brad Craig, who was returning to his native Texas towards the end of the first semester in the late fall of 1938 to enroll on the campus where his father had been cadet colonel and a star athlete 21 years before.
Every time you get up, something happens to me.
I don't know what makes me so clumsy.
I wish you'd stay in your seat.
Now, look, I didn't put the curves in the tracks, did I?
Well, you could hold on to something, couldn't you?
Well, I tried to. I grabbed for the back of the seat and I missed.
And broke my beads instead.
You fell on her lap the last time.
I'm sorry.
Well, you're going to sit there and stare at me? You're going to help me pick up my beads?
Well, it's partly your fault, that silly little string you had them on.
My fault. Well, I like that. Does a girl like to string her beads on a clothesline?
He just said he was sorry.
And besides, how was I to know my sleeve button would catch?
He just wants to get a good look at you, lady.
And who asked you?
I know. It ain't none of my business.
Well, he's right.
Pardon me. I'm sorry.
You know, you're making an awful lot of fuss over a few little old culture beads.
Culture? Now, don't be silly. They've been in my family for years.
I don't like to sound obstinate, but they're culture pearls. I've seen them growing right in Japan.
World traveler, too, huh?
He should know, lady. Look at this. So you've been to Japan, eh, son?
Yeah, for 4 years. Excuse me. See, my father's an Army colonel. And when the government sent him to Tokyo to learn Japanese, he took me along.
Well, what's his name? Maybe I know him.
Craig, Colonel Jason Craig.
Hey, Jason Craig. Not Cannonball Craig.
Well, that's what they used to call him.
Why, he's the greatest football player that Texas A&M ever turned out. Did you know that, sister?
Well, certainly. I was born on the A&M campus.
Wow.
You're not an Aggie, are you?
In here, lady. Only in here. I'm a traveling salesman. Ladies Foundations. She'll know.
I don't know.
You will, come your 40. How come you haven't got a Nagy uniform on, son?
Well, I haven't enrolled yet.
But the first semester started 2 months ago.
Yeah, I know, but you see, I missed the boat from Manila. Doggone, I'm always missing something. Like that train in Dallas last night. Of course, that was a break for a change.
A break?
Well, sure, meeting you.
I'm sorry if I was rude, but I didn't know you were Colonel Craig's son. Say, he must have mentioned my grandfather, Professor Pop Lambert.
Gosh, yes. Say, this is wonderful. Look, are you going to be down here long?
For the weekend. Then I'm going back to TSCW.
TSC?
Oh, Texas State College for Women.
Oh, sure. Well, gee, wouldn't it be funny if I happened to bump into you? I mean, I'd sure like to see you again.
That'd be fun.
Well, I'm not very exciting, but then I'm very dependable. And I was just going to say that we...
Dependable.
Next stop, College Station. Next stop, College Station.
Well, look, go straight up there toward the academic building. Anyone will show you from there. And don't forget, Pop and I'll be expecting you for dinner about 7.
Oh, that's great. That's swell, thanks. Sure swell to have met you. Oh.
Bye.
Goodbye. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
You've been a swell old lady to me, Cyanide.
You'll be back someday, Chip.
Yeah, sure.
Fish Craig? Fish Jenkins is my name.
Fish?
That's what we call all the freshmen down here. My real name's Cyanide. My nickname, that is. Hey, what's yours?
Brad. But look, how'd you know I was coming?
Well, Pop Lambert told me about you. Asked me to come down and meet you. Want to get going?
Sure. Say, what are you doing in the gutter?
Oh, fish aren't allowed to walk on the sidewalks here. Upperclassmen catch you, they'll give you rams.
Rams?
Well, like your marriage. You walk them off in the bull ring Saturday afternoon.
Hi, Fish Duncan's my name.
Brad Craig.
Glad to know you.
We'll drop your gear off up to Field Artillery dorm, then I'll take you over to register. You can pick up your uniforms later at the exchange store.
Well, it's swell of you to look after me, but...
Oh, that's all right. You're my old lady.
You what?
My roommate. Boy I was living with went home. Pop Lambert asked me to take you in with me.
Well, that's swell, thanks.
Oh, he's a wonderful old man. You'll sure like Pop.
I will, huh?
But if you don't, you'll be the first Aggie in 40 years who didn't.
Hiya.
Hi.
Fish Riggs is my name. Brad Craig. Glad to know you.
Well, what is this you're riding herd on?
Sir, not being informed to the highest degree of accuracy, I hesitate to articulate for fear of deviating from the true path of rectitude. In short, sir, I am very dumb, sir. I do not know, sir.
What do you mean you don't know? Look, I'm Brad Craig.
Hey,
I
what
just
is
came
it?
in...
Sir, it's Fish Craig, sir. A new student. I'm taking him up to register.
Registering in the middle of a semester?
Hot frog, no doubt about it. What is a fish?
A fish, sir, is the lowest thing on earth, sir.
What is a frog?
A frog, sir, is a student who enters midterm and is 10 times lower than a fish, sir.
All right, now you, what's a fish?
The fish? Well, I'd say a fish was a sucker.
Well, that's near enough. He's learning. And what's a sucker?
A sucker is any guy that would travel 7,000 miles to come to this kindergarten.
Oh, here's a hot fish. It's going to be a pleasure to cool off.
You his old lady?
Yes, sir.
Then how come he's not better informed on a proper respect due an upperclassman?
Sir, he just got here a few
That's
minutes.
no excuse. An Aggie should be prepared for every contingency. Name?
Chris Jenkins, sir.
4 Rams. And 4 for Fish Craig. And after he's registered and got his uniform, he's confined to quarters until Reveille tomorrow morning.
Oh, now, wait a minute. I can't do that. I got a dinner date.
Oh, he's got a dinner date.
Social figure, no doubt. He'll eat in the mess hall, understand?
Yes, sir.
And another thing, beginning tomorrow morning, you're my room orderly. You'll get in there and wash the floors and the windows. Room 2D, Walton Hall.
And when you finish that, change my bed linen and send out my laundry. Orders, understand?
Too bad, Craig. First day on the campus. That was Panhandle Mitchell and Hank James, 2 of the toughest sophomores here. What upperclassman says goes, too.
Yeah, well, if they think I'm going to stay in tonight, they're crazy. What is this joint, anyway? A training school for morons?
Oh, Mr. Jenkins, new boy here.
Hello. Hello, Nishikawa. Listen, Craig, I don't care what college you go to. They all got their own customs, their own traditions. Here, I'll admit they're plenty tough. That boy I was seeing off on the train today, he got booted out of here because he couldn't take it. Now, you better get wise to yourself. It'll save you a lot of wear and tear later on. Get it?
Hey, Fish Craig, that's first call. Better step on it.
Hi, boy. Hi. Say, why don't you march in to supper tonight with a battery? Get to meet some of the fellas that way. I won't be able to go with you. I got a wait table in the mess hall.
I'm going to Pop's for dinner tonight. I told you that.
Oh, for Pete's sakes. If you want to stick your neck out again, okay, but what about me? I'm responsible for you. Think I want to spend the rest of the semester paddle-footing around that bull ring?
Hey!
Fish Tavares is my name. From Brazil.
I'm Brad Craig.
Ah, new fish.
That's right.
You mind if I tell you? You should introduce yourself as Fish Craig. It's a tradition.
So I gathered.
Shut up, fish, and march.
guys goofy?
Goofy? No, no. They are fish. Just
Yeah, I know. Another tradition.
That's right. A very fine Aggie tradition. They take off their hats and yell because they are happy.
Happy?
To be permitted to eat.
I said, shut up, fish, and march.
There. All fish wear the napkin so. Should the gun wadding, please?
Gun wadding?
Bread.
Nice going. You pass the bread, please?
Who wants the gun wad?
Right here.
You better get hep to the patter, son, or you won't eat.
Not me, brother. I don't starve anywhere.
Get a load of that guy, will you?
Like the hot fish needs basting.
Well, what do you suggest?
We can handle him all right. He's in our battery, isn't he?
Hey, you better be cracking a book there, son. You got almost a whole semester to catch up.
I'm catching up on boat schedules. And I'm telling Dad to meet me on Pier 7 in Manila in about 2 months from now.
You can't take it, huh? Come in.
Oh, it's you, Pop. Yes, sir. The old nuisance himself. And this is Brad Craig. You don't need to tell me. You're your father all over again. Welcome to A&M, son. I'm Pop Lambert.
How do you do, sir? Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Oh, here, Pop.
Thanks.
If you'll excuse me, sir, I'm going down to Fish Miller's room for a while. He's having a math quiz in the morning. I promised to help him.
Yeah. The blind leading the helpless, eh?
Yeah.
I'm sorry I couldn't make it to dinner tonight, sir, but
Oh, I can guess. You've been put on the line already. Well, it's quite a promising start. Nina sent her best to you. Says she'll make it up to you another time.
Well, there probably won't be another time, sir.
Why not?
May I speak frankly?
Sure. Pull out your shirt tails and fire away.
Well, I'm going home. No, I know. It sounds as though I can't take it, but that's not it. I can take anything if it makes sense. But all this fish hazing, it's just not growing up, that's all. Walking in the gutter, acting like something out of a zoo.
Go on.
Well, you see, sir, I spent 2 seasons as an assistant overseer on a big plantation. And there's a marvelous future out there. In fact, the whole Far East is growing. We can feel it. And that's why I came back here, to study scientific farming and do something with it.
Like what?
Well, help the Philippines grow. You see, sir, I wanted to go back to Manila when I got through here and start a permanent radio feature, a series of talks to the Philippine growers on the newest and best methods of tropical agriculture.
Well, that's not a bad idea, son. Incidentally, we have a radio station, WTAW, you could practice in. But go ahead.
Well, that's about it, sir. With the facilities at hand out there and the finest school of agriculture in the country at my disposal here, I have to go around jumping through hoops every time a sophomore feels moronic.
Listen, son, the last boy that had your bunk had pretty much the same idea that's gnawing at you. 2%ers, we call his kind, because they're rare here. The other boys, the 98%ers, took care of him. They always do. He's gone now, and almost forgotten by the rest of us. Come here, son. I want you to look at something. See all those lights out there? Every boy in every one of those rooms is hard at it, learning how to be the kind of soldiers we turn out here. Oh, I know. The road's steep and the going's tough. But every mother's son of them will walk out of here equipped and ready for whatever's waiting for them.
Sure, Pop, sure. That's for me. That's what I came here for. But honestly, sir, does all this hazing and obeying fool orders make sense to you?
Why, doesn't it seem logical to you that you have to learn to obey orders before you can give them? Didn't do your dad any harm. And when he became a wethead, he certainly dished it out. Well, I'm taking up too much of your time. I think if you bear with us for a while, Brad, you'll like us better than you thought you would.
Maybe. Well, it was swell of you to come by, sir, and I have learned one thing tonight.
What's that?
What Dad meant when he said it was worth traveling halfway across the world just to meet you.
Who, me? Oh, I'm just an old geezer still trying to find the right answers. Good night, Brad.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
We got no time to talk. Climb in those coveralls.
When does the guy sleep?
Listen, when the upperclassman pops a whip, the fish don't sleep around here. Now get going before he comes back.
Get in there, fish, and hop over with the rest of them.
Please speak to us in English. For us, it is better practice.
Fish Kubo are my name from Kobe, and this are Fish Matsui from Osaka.
Fish Craig. I'm new here. I just came in today.
This is a very humorous custom for fishers, and also great fun for us.
Crazy, but I had a lot of fun.
Oh, yes, we are always having fun at your practice.
Hey, what happened to you anyway?
Oh, I don't know. I just got lost in the rush back there.
Fish Kubo are my name.
Fish Jenkins.
Fish Matsui.
Fish Jenkins, bad to know you. Well, you look like you enjoyed yourself anyway.
I did. I don't know what happened, but first thing I knew, I was yelling my head off.
Cynic's night off, huh? You're doing all right, son.
Say, what outfit are you two fellas in?
Field artillery.
Oh, field artillery, same here.
Good. Perhaps you come in and see us.
Sure thing.
友達ができたから喜んでます。さようなら。
これで、東洋と西洋の挨拶することをできると思います。さようなら。
Hey, where'd you pick up their lingo? You can really rattle that stuff off.
It's just like the measles. If you're around them, you get them.
Brad?
Hey, there's Nina. Hiya, Nina.
Hi.
Say, this is great. But what are you doing
I
here?
always turn up and not yell practice when I'm home. It's swell fun. I wouldn't miss it.
Oh, say, I'm awful sorry about that dinner tonight.
I
really...
know. Pop told me.
Oh, hey, wait a minute. Nina, this is Fish Jenkins, my old lady. This is Miss Lambert.
How do you do?
Hi. So you're the famous Nina Lambert.
Famous?
Sure. Well, I've heard about you since I first got here. They tell me a fellow's just not a true Aggie unless he's in love with you.
Maybe they got something there.
Could be. Well, I gotta be stepping along. Night, Miss Lambert.
Good night.
Don't keep him up too late. He's in up to his ears right now. So long.
It was awfully nice of you to walk me home. And I hope it doesn't get you into any trouble.
Oh, don't you worry about that. They won't even know I was gone.
Good night, Brad.
Good night, Nina.
Good night.
Did anyone ever tell you how easy you are to look at?
Why, Mr. Craig, it must be the moonlight.
There's an awful lot of it, isn't there?
Yeah.
Look, are you coming down next Saturday?
Oh, sure. I come down every weekend.
Well, do you suppose I could see you next Saturday?
I don't see why not.
And, what about the Saturdays after that?
We'll talk about that next Saturday. Oh, excuse me. I haven't had time to wire these on yet.
I don't blame you for being scared. Really, though, that was just one of my clumsy streaks on the train this morning. I do get them often. I don't know. I never seem to be able to do anything just right.
Good night, Brad.
Good night, Nina.
Night.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, look out! Oh.
See what I mean?
Yeah. Night.
Night.
Wait a minute. What's your name?
Brad, Fish Craig, sir.
What outfit?
F Battery, Field Artillery.
Have a late pass?
Pass? No. I was just out to yell practice.
10 rams. For being out of your room.
10? Well, you can just double that, mister, because, brother, it was worth it.
Turn out those lights.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Hey, what's the matter?
There's something in my bed. Well, it's a dog.
Yeah, that's Rev.
Rev?
Yeah, Reveille. She's the corps mascot.
Well, how do you do? But let's get out of the bed.
Mustn't touch. Rev's a privileged character around here. She crawls into a guy's bunk, she stays there. Guy's got to find someplace else to sleep.
Well, that's fine. What do I do, sleep on the floor?
Well, you can sleep in your hat if you think it's big enough. Anyway, Rev stays there, and put out those lights, will you? You get us in trouble.
Oh, for... December 2nd, 1938. Dear Dad, this school is everything you claimed and then some. Everywhere you look, guys working. And the best of it is that no matter what you study, you get practical field work, too. Oh, incidentally, I've got one of the best old women on the campus, Cyanide Jenkins. Oh, what a guy. He and Nina and I, that's Pop Lambert's granddaughter, the three of us have lots of fun together every weekend when she comes down from TSCW. Well, Dad, I gotta scram. We're going out for battery practice this afternoon.
Limber front! And rear! of this brake shoe?
Oh, I think it'll hold till we get back to the gun shed.
Well, maybe so, but I wouldn't want to bet on it. Prepare the
Oh! Hey, wait a minute!
Can't you understand orders?
Well, yes.
Then mount.
With this brake shoe.
Are you refusing to obey an officer?
No, I'm not. I'm just trying to tell you.
Just a minute. Fish Jenkins?
Yes, sir.
You're Fish Craig's old lady. How come he doesn't know how to address an upperclassman?
Sir, not being informed to the highest degree of
You're very dumb, quite right.
Yes, sir.
But not too dumb to teach this gruesome lad some manners, I hope.
No, sir.
Well, see that you do, then.
Yes, sir.
You're also non-reg. Well, did you know? Army shirts are supposed to be kept buttoned. I'm very much afraid I'll have to hand you 4 rams.
Now, wait a minute.
4 more for omitting the sir. You keep this up and you'll spend every Saturday afternoon in a bull ring. And from now on, learn how to address an upperclassman. Now, mount up. He says, forward! Cross!
Cyanide. Cyanide. Cyanide, are you all right? Yeah, I'm all right. Thanks to you. That's one I owe you, Brad.
Oh, forget it. We call that nerve in the artillery.
Fast thinking, huh?
Brother, you know it. What happened?
That brake shoe, I tried to tell you it was defective.
Okay, I'm sorry I didn't listen to you. You hurt, Jenkins?
Oh, I'm all right. If it hadn't been for Fish Craig here, I'd be under that thing right now.
Nice work, Craig.
You think so, huh?
I said so, didn't I? Come on, let's get that gun back up on the road.
Oh, hey, what about those rams you gave me?
You get 4 more for again omitting the sir. Any objections?
No. Sir?
Come on, let's get to work.
Hi.
Say, what you doing, measuring Texas?
Yeah, we're cutting off a little chunk for an airfield.
You don't like flying much, do you?
Well, if I didn't have to eat, I'd never come down.
Well, hop in and I'll fly you home.
Oh, no thanks. I'll stagger on along with the fellas.
Oh, come on. I'm going over to pick up Brad at the experimental farm, and we can all drive back together. Hop in.
Well, you go ahead. I sort of promised the gang.
You know, I've got a hunch you're trying to brush me off.
Oh, no. I'm just trying to stay neutral, that's all.
Now, look here. You put that spyglass in the rumble seat and give yourself 6 rams and jump in.
Okay. But if you don't walk on a railroad track, that old train will never hit you. Come on, fella, let's all go. We're middle for us.
All set, boys?
That's all. Class dismissed.
Hello, boys.
Hello, honey.
Hello,
Nina.
Hey, that's beautiful fleece on that lamb.
Sure is, isn't it? What we're really more interested in, though, is developing the quality of the meat. Notice how compact and low-set he is. He's a result of crossbreeding the Rambouillet with the Southdown.
This is what he really loves, isn't it, Brad?
It looks like you'll have to grow a pair of horns or develop tick fever or something.
Okay, take him away, will you? No kidding, though. When I think of the use this stuff's going to be when I get back home. You know, honey, there'd be a great field for your work, too. Do what I'm going to do. Get yourself a regular program on some Manila station. Home economics, dietetics, tropical nutrition. What's the matter?
Do you think the field in this country isn't big enough?
Well, sure it is. But the real future's in Asia. Japan, China, Philippines, the Dutch East Indies. Look at those 2 Japanese, Kubo and Matsui. They know it. Look at the way they work and study. Gee, honey, you know, you and me together, we could... Yes, that sounded like a proposal, didn't it?
I'll file it away.
You better take it out and dust it off once in a while. He's awful forgetful.
Hey, Cyanide, for Pete's sake. You two sure are talkative. Here we've been driving for about 10 minutes, and I've done all the gabbing. Well, say something, will you?
All right. What's the big surprise you said you had for me?
You tell her, huh?
Who, me? Oh, no, you tell her. It's your news.
Well, they made me a fish sergeant. Not bad for a new guy, huh?
Fish sergeant?
Yeah, ain't that something?
Oh, but Brad... Well, that's grand. When do you start?
First formation in the morning. How do you like that? Out of all those guys, they picked me. I know what an honor it is for a guy that's new on the campus to be promoted to fish sergeant, and I'll try to live up to it. Thank the seniors for their confidence in me. I know I've got a lot to learn, but I'm sure you fellows in the Field Artillery Regiment will give me a break and not start any arguments or fights. Well, I guess that's all. Thanks a lot.
How'd I do? Terrible. They're applauding 3 other guys.
Yeah, they must have been pretty good. Right nice little speech, wasn't it?
Yeah, very touching.
He wants the seniors to give him a break.
Boy, will Dad get a boot out of this. A promotion right off the bat. I can hardly wait to tell the old man.
Maybe you better wait and see how you make out first, huh?
Don't worry about me. I'll be all right. Shoot the sawdust, please.
Hey, you're the fish sergeant, aren't you? Well, get over there and break up that fight.
Come on, you guys, break it up. Anybody else? Okay, now cut out the scrapping or I'll put you all in the line.
Was that all right, sir?
That was fine, Sergeant. You just keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir.
Well, how do you account for that?
He was just lucky, that's all. We'll fix that. Routine number 2 tonight.
Good. Boy, is that a honey? Pop's cook make it?
No, sir. This was whipped up by an angel.
Nina?
彼女に会いました。とてもペペですな。結婚しましたか?
Well, not yet. We're just good friends. Say, it sure has been quiet and peaceful tonight. You know, it's a funny thing, but ever since I was promoted to fish sergeant, there's been a regular epidemic of fights and brawls around here.
Hey, fish sergeant, step on it. There's a fight outside.
You guys?
Look, he's hurt! You killed him!
Get a doctor. Call a doctor, quick! Who did this?
Gee, I didn't mean to, but he swung at me so... But I didn't mean to. Honest, I didn't, Sergeant.
On your way, Stu. Call a hospital quick. He may be dying. Hurry, hurry.
Gee, I didn't mean to, but...
Hurry up, Fish. You want him to pass out?
Come on, Fish, get started. You want him to die?
Arigato.
Boy, come on, you guys. Work fast. Somebody get those guys outside back to the room. Quiet. Back to your rooms, you guys. Scram, back to your rooms. Now, remember, when he gets there with the doc, it was all his imagination. See? Just purely imagination. Boy, was he scared.
Sure looks like he saw a ghost all right.
Let's quit talking. Let's get this room straightened up. We'll be back here any minute.
Don't forget that book over there.
Come on, we want to have everything in order. Come on. Sit down, Hank. Well, will he feel like a dope when he walks in here, huh?
Sergeant Routine was a gang, would you?
December 15th, 1939. Dear Dad, Merry Christmas. I hope this reaches you in time. I'm having Christmas dinner here with Pop Lambert and Nina. Remember I told you about her? These Texas girls... But I should have known. Mom was one. You'll probably remember what it's like to be here before the holidays. Most of the boys are going home, but Pop Lambert, bless his old hide, still takes care of the campus orphans. Well, don't be too lonesome, Dad. I'll be thinking of you Christmas Eve, remembering the ones we spent together.
To all the Aggies, I drink. To the past, present, and future. To what they learned here, and the spirit they carried away to the far corners of the earth. For the spirit of Aggie Land is the spirit of peace and well-being, of honor and integrity. So let us say, in paraphrase of those beautiful words of Tiny Tim's, the Aggies, God bless us, everyone. Now sit down, boys, and pitch in. Good night, boys.
Merry Christmas.
Now, if you'll excuse me, children.
Oh, don't you forget to hang up your stocking, and don't peek when Santa comes down the chimney.
Oh, I won't. Good night.
Night, Bob. Well, I gotta be getting along.
Oh, not yet. It's early.
Oh, I gotta paint all the showers before the fellas get back. And I have to start tomorrow morning, Christmas or no Christmas. Besides, two's company, three's a nuisance. Thanks for the present, Nina. You too, Brad.
Oh, it was nothing really. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. He was in kind of a hurry, wasn't he?
Well, two is company. Nina, do you mind if I ask you something? Look, honey, I like you an awful lot. And if I thought that maybe you and I were, well, that if when I go back home that maybe you'd be with me.
I know what you mean, Brad. And I like you, too, an awful lot. Shall we just let it go at that for a while and see what happens?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Gee, that's great. Well, thanks for a swell evening. Oh, and look, about cyanide.
Good night, Brad. See you soon.
Better fast, boy. Great, you're improving. You'll soon be able to take Nina up.
I'm afraid I'm a long ways from being good enough for that. I still fly like a rooster in a cyclone. I'm afraid if Nina's got any notions about flying, she better play safe and go up with you.
Oh, she'd be safe enough, I guess. Anyway, we'll let her decide for herself.
Brad, Craig, and Cyanide Jenkins.
Did you say cyanide?
Uh-huh.
That's from the Greek kindness, a dark blue. HCNO. A volatile liquid compound with a penetrating pungent odor.
Who, me?
No, that's cyanic acid. Cyanide. I know it as well as... I've got it. Cyanide, a compound of cyanogen with a metallic element or radical. Of course. Aren't I dumb? But I'm not really. Do you think I look like Dorothy Thompson or Virginia Coles?
I'd say you look like a character.
I'm glad you agree with me.
Got a ball-bearing neck, sister. Hey, Dee Dee. Dee Dee, come back here.
You don't look around, you don't learn anything. Then you get mental termites.
That's a gruesome thought if I ever heard one.
Why, the boys are good-looking around here. I always say good looks go with intelligence. It's only a matter of a mandatory acculturation. I'm glad you agree with me. Just like I said, I'd rather know a little about a lot of things than a lot about practically nothing. Take Chamberlain, for instance.
Huh?
Well, you're not cyanide.
Well, I haven't been up until now.
No matter. Practically anybody might have ideas. Who knows? And thinking's just about my only recreation. Also on the brink of thought, that's me. Take the Sudetenland, for example. Of course, no sane person would pay any attention to what Hitler said. Even McCartan Horn did say that...
Huh? Hey, have you danced with cyanide tonight? How come?
Well, that's an easy one. Yes, naturally.
You know, he's much better at this than I am. I think you ought to dance with him.
Cyanide doesn't think so.
No. I don't get it.
Look at the mess this world's in. I mean, this $30 in every pop movement is pretty unsound unless it applies to the individual. I'm glad you agree with me.
Okay, Joe, I'll take over. Say, babe, do you believe in the hereafter?
Of course, but
Okay, I'll be here after I get my wits back.
I'm glad you agree with me. Hello. Thought you were Cyanide. He's the one that Nina's in love with. You are Cyanide.
Dee Dee.
What did
you just say?
I just said Nina's in love with Cyanide. With you. Don't tell me you didn't know.
What makes you think so?
She talks about you all the time.
Now, look, Dee Dee. Nina's not in love with me. She's in love with Brad.
I'm glad you agree with me. But you're in love with her, aren't you?
Now, listen. Let's just stick to the theory of relativity, huh? Give that great mind of yours a long vacation.
Hi.
Hey, Cyanide, what do you say we trade the next, huh?
Oh, no. Dee Dee's nuts about me. She thinks I'm Charles Darwin or somebody. Anyway, I'm not in Nina's class.
You're a wonderful dancer.
You know, if I were Darwin, then maybe I could figure you two out. You're both swell dancers, you fight like a couple of tomcats, and you both act like a couple of dummies. Now, look, why don't you go out there and dance and really get in each other's hair?
Maybe you got something there, son. How about it?
Time for dreaming on the campus. The lights dim above. Bells are ringing in the twilight. To highlight our love. June may end the old semester, but I'll still be true. And my darling, just to prove it, make this pledge to you, me for you forever, true to you ever, true to the memories made in June, me for you forever, we do know never. Under the spell of the Texas moon.
Nina? Look, honey, maybe we better just skip it, huh?
It's okay by me.
Smile on her? Oh, I suppose there's lots of things I could say.
Now, didn't you just say skip it?
Well, I was going to, but I... What is there about that guy makes me so darn noble?
You don't want to hurt him, I guess. Neither do I, Cyanide. But when you're lost, you try to find your way home.
Well, how long you been lost?
Ever since that first night at Yale practice when you said, a guy's just not a good Aggie unless he's...
Unless he's in love with you?
You said something else, too. You said, if you don't walk on the railroad track, the train won't hit you. Remember?
I thought I was just kidding when I said that.
Cyanide, stay on the track a little longer, will you? It's my track, too, now, you know.
Hi, you two. What, no dead bodies? Well, as long as you're still on your feet, you might as well use them and give me the next dance, huh? All right, Chump?
Okay, she's all yours.
Hey, Brad, bring me my robe, will ya? Okay. Hey, Hypo, when you leaving for camp? Tomorrow, right after final review. You got room for one more in the jalopy? Oh, sure. I only got 9. I can take 2 more. Good. Count me in. Anybody else?
Not me. I'm riding my thumb.
What's the session about? Oh, I was just telling the fellas about Colonel Moore's farewell party when he asked the Coast Artillery seniors to volunteer for foreign service.
I think Colonel Moore's all wet.
He ought to know what he's talking about. He's been a soldier all his life.
Well, that's just the point. Like all professional soldiers, he magnifies every little incident.
Oh, it's not just one little incident.
How about the Japs bragging about killing 3 million Chinese?
Yeah, what about the Pan Eye?
Well, that was an accident. Besides, we got paid back for it, didn't we?
Accident, my foot. Those little pups are spoiling for a scrap with us.
Now, take it easy, fellas. Take it easy. This is a bull session. We're just trading ideas. Brad's got a right to his.
Of course he has, but ever since he came here 3 years ago, he's been a Jap lover. What are you driving at? Let me finish. It looks to me as though you're a doggone sight more concerned about keeping the Japs off that Manila radio station of yours than you are keeping them off our necks.
In your broadcast, you never miss a chance to say what dirty dogs Hitler and Mussolini are. And you're right. What did you ever call Hirohito?
Look, if you're insinuating...
Fair question, Brad.
All right, I'll answer it. I believe that the Japanese...
Come in.
Oh, excuse us, please. We didn't know you were busy. We'll be back.
Oh, come on in. You might as well hear it. All right, Brad?
Sure, why not? So you want to know why I panned the Axis and not Japan? All right, this is why. The Germans knew they had no right to Poland, Czechoslovakia, Norway, the Low Countries, and the rest. But the Japanese really believe that what they're doing is for the good of Asia.
It's about time somebody knocked the Japs' ears back.
And guess how long that would take us?
A couple of spare weekends, maybe?
Oh, now don't kid yourselves. The Japanese are tough little fighters. And what's more, they're great colonizers.
Colonizers? Oh, yeah, that's why they're loading those thousands of tons of scrap metal and cotton into Japanese ships down at Galveston. What's that scrap for, do you suppose? Egg beaters?
Look, suppose we drop this, huh? It's not hardly fair to those two guys.
What's unfair about it? If you two don't like what we're talking about, well, that's just too bad.
Well, they don't like it, and what's more, I don't like it. I think it's stinking manners on your part to talk like that in front of my guests.
Why? This is a full session where everybody's free to talk. Why don't they open their yaps?
Now, you get out of here, Panhandle, before I crack you one.
Brother, it'll be a pleasure to have you try.
Hey, look, you two, break it up.
No, please, wait a minute. There's no use fighting. Like Panhandle says, everybody's entitled to his own opinion. Even me, eh, Panhandle?
Sure, go ahead. Sound off if you want to.
Well, to a great extent, Brad is right. And I don't say that just because I am Japanese. After all, we have learned something on this campus. And America is our second home, even perhaps our destiny. But here you think always of Europe, never of Asia. And yet there is where the greatest expansion of the next 100 years will take place. That is why we're sitting here, Mitsui and myself, so that we can apply the best of American civilization to the problems of China, of Manchukuo, of Chosin. And if sometimes it is necessary to choke the dog to give it medicine, it's for the dog's own good.
And that must be very comforting to the dog.
You don't understand. Look, here is a picture from a Japanese magazine. And because it is a picture of Chinese dead at Chongqing after a Japanese bombing raid, most Americans would say it is only Japanese brutality. But Brad knows, and everyone who really understands Japan knows, that every one of these fortunate people has contributed, even if unknowingly, to the future greatness of Asia. But only under Japan can that greatness be achieved. Now do you see?
You mind if I keep this, Matsui?
You are welcome. I have many more. We didn't intend to embarrass you, Brad. Sorry they didn't understand.
See you later, Brad.
Did you see this?
Sure, I saw it. What about it? Listen, fella, why don't you wake up? Those guys are absolutely right about the Japs. Look at that clipping. What was it Matsui said about it? Every one of these fortunate people have contributed to the future greatness of Asia. Oh, can't you see? Why, they don't even think like us.
Maybe you're right. I don't know, Cyanide. I've lived with them. I speak their language. Why,
If you weren't so dumb, you'd realize they're just a bunch of copperheads. Too bad we're not smart enough to beat them at their own game.
May 18th, 1941. Dear Dad, it hardly seems possible that by the time you get this letter, I'll be at the end of my junior year. Yep, tomorrow's final review when the seniors graduate and say goodbye to their corps. Believe me, Dad, everything you ever told me about final review is true, and then some. When those graduating seniors step forward to take their last salute as their old companies and regiments march past, and we know they may never see each other again, even those of us who are staying get that old lump in the throat. And all the nose blowing is not just colds in the head. Well, next year, when I get to be a senior and have to say farewell, maybe I'll understand how tough it is for the seniors. Even a hard case like Panhandle. Remember, I told you about him.
That cold steel senior who commands our battery? He's a crackerjack soldier. I guess not a bad guy.
Well, Cyanide, I never thought we'd make a soldier out of you. But, brother, your kind of imitational doodle, a better one comes along.
Oh, thanks, Panhandle. So long.
So long. Well, goodbye, Craig.
Good luck, soldier.
Thanks.
Hey, Panhandle, don't let anybody shoot you until I catch up with you again, huh?
So long, Apple.
So long, Panhandle. Now it's my turn to wear a senior's boots. Gosh, Dad, I'm kind of dumb about expressing my feelings, but when you've gone through 3 tough years and earned the right to wear them, why, they really mean something. Way down deep underneath. Or do I have to tell you?
Ohio, Nishikawa.
Oh, new boots. Very fine. Beautiful. I congratulate you.
Thanks a lot.
Here so late?
Oh, I had a little more work to do on that formula you're going to play watchdog over. It's finished now.
Do you always work in the dark?
I'm a sentimental old cuss, I guess, but I like to turn out the lights and watch the bonfire.
Well, what's all the mystery about this secret formula of yours? Sounds pretty important.
It is. I'll show you.
You mind if I ask what it is?
Don't see why not, since you're giving up your time to riding herd on it.
Cyanide was telling me the government's interested in it.
That's quite right. Quite right. I'll show it to you. Here it is. It's a gas decontamination invention for use in gun turrets and fortifications. We're giving it to the government.
So chemistry goes to war.
But it's finished now, and I'm glad to get it off my hands.
Well, how does it work?
As an antidote. It neutralizes chlorine, phosgene, and other toxic gases before they reach the lungs.
Sounds great. Is it something you cooked up?
Well, no, not exactly. You see, scientists have been wrestling with this idea since the Germans introduced poison gas back in 1914. So you see, it was cooked up before I got it. But I discovered that the dish needed just one little pinch of seasoning. So I added it. There it is. Right there.
You mean the symbol HC2 is the pinch of seasoning?
Yes, sir. And without that element, this formula would be as useless as a fly swatter.
Do you know you could find a smarter place to hide that?
That's right. Now, let me think. I got it. Bennett's smokescreen formula. We'll put that in here. Now we must find a good place to hide the real one.
Well, we could tear up a loose board. Philo Vance did it for you.
Oh, no. No, I'm one of the hollow brick in the fireplace addicts. No, we must find the most improbable place that anyone could imagine.
Well, there's always the behind-the-picture school of thought.
Say, that's not a bad idea. We'll put it behind one... Where is that? I had it here a minute ago. I know it.
Oh, elementary, my dear Watson.
Oh, bless my soul. How silly of me. Say, that might not be a bad place to leave it.
By golly, you're right. That's where she stays.
Well, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, the Chamber of Horrors is all yours.
Rain on the game tomorrow.
Yeah, me too.
You're coming with Brad and me, aren't you?
No, not this time. I promised some of the fellas my outfit.
Still being noble, aren't you?
군사의 조사마, 아나타 no shantatori. Ishitomi yatan desu.
Sure, betata korode. Koida keshka arimasen deshita.
Accept no excuses. The formula was there. You should have found it.
You said a mouthful, Commander. Brilliant ain't the word. All you gotta do is open a desk, lift the paper that'll do some good for your country and her friends. And you bring the wrong paper. You pinched the formula for making smoke screens. They're bright boys, Commander, bright boys. They ought to be decorated. Hey, wait a minute. Maybe you better talk so I can understand. I get awful impatient when I don't understand people.
I say to these fools, the striking hour is 2 weeks away. And he says, this formula is the only one that is there.
Ain't there more than one place to look? Seems to me if I was looking for something, I'd find it if I had to tear the place to shreds and splinters. Anyhow, they didn't get what we want, so we're right back where we started. The thing we're after is locked up where it won't do your emperor any good. Might even help to put him out of business. Plus a good chance that the school will get wise to what we're up to. Well, what are you going to do about it?
But what can we do, Honorable Sir?
Here's a picture from a Japanese magazine.
And if sometimes it is necessary to choke the dog to give it medicine.
How about the Japs bragging about killing 3 million Chinese?
But the Japanese really believe that what they're doing is for the good of Asia.
Right. But ever since he came here 3 years ago, he's been a Jap lover.
If you weren't so dumb, you'd realize they're just a bunch of copperheads. The striking hour is 2 weeks away. Too bad we're not smart enough to beat them at their own game.
This formula is the only one there. So what they're doing is for the good of Asia. Why, they don't even think like that. Striking hour, 2 weeks away.
Jap lover, copperhead, striking hour, Jap lover, copperhead, striking hour.
Well, this is your last bonfire, Si.
Yep.
Is that why you're so quiet?
No, not altogether.
Then what is it?
Look, Nina, I've tried 100 times to tell him about us. But every time I get started, I freeze up. The words just won't come out.
It's not fair to Brad not to tell him.
Oh, I know that. I know it, but... I'm supposed to relieve him at the lab in a little while. I'll go up there now. We'll be alone and...
Oh, no, you won't. I'll be with you and we'll tell him together.
So you better tell him to trot back up there and take a chance. And if young Craig has woke up, then send him back to Shut-Eye and see that he stays there.
That'd be going to an awful lot of trouble for nothing.
Well, bless my soul. Fancy meeting you here. What are you looking for? Beads?
No, just a couple of friends of mine that laid me out.
We didn't know it was you, Brad. We thought it was cyanide.
That still makes you pretty dumb.
You can frame that one, pal. Is this a social call?
Could be. You guys were after something up there tonight that you wanted pretty badly. You don't take chances like that for peanuts. And right now, you could be in an awful jam.
He's pretty smart, my friends. Pretty smart. Maybe a little bit too smart.
I said you could be in a jam. That's up to you.
How so?
These men are my friends. They know all about me, where I came from. They know what my feelings are toward Japan. They ought to. I've gone to bat for them often enough in the last 3 years. Isn't that right, you guys?
Sure, Brad, and we appreciate it, too.
Now, if you guys had played ball with me, then maybe I could have helped you.
Helped us?
Certainly.
Like how?
You, mind if I sit down?
tell me that for $5,000...
In cash at a Manila bank.
You can turn that formula over to us?
That's right.
Don't
worry. I'm not going to double-cross you. I mean, this thing is deep now as you are.
Oh, brother, and how? But how do you know you can get the right formula? Where did you get this?
It was in Pop's coat in the closet where my two pals here threw me. This thing on the desk was just a blind.
What did I tell you?
That's on the campus.
It's a chemistry lab.
Would you know anything about that, my clever young friend?
What do you think?
You sure missed your vocation, son. What a foundation salesman you'd have made.
The fire started in that closet and burned its way into the office. Do you know just how it started?
No, sir.
While supposedly on duty that night, you left your post. While you were gone, a fire occurred. And a highly confidential document is missing. Did you take it?
No, sir.
You were seen leaving Nishikawa's house after the fire broke out. What were you doing there?
Talking, sir?
What about?
Oh, Far Eastern situation.
Have you ever accepted money from these people?
No, sir. Why should I?
Is that all you have to say in your defense?
That's all, sir.
I see. This isn't a court-martial, Craig, but it is an official inquiry into a charge of misconduct that has all the elements of a nasty mess. I've given you every opportunity to clear yourself, and you failed to do so. And that places you under suspicion of a grave offense. I'm an army man, accustomed to dealing drastically with treason suspects. Here, however, my authority ends by ordering you confined to the campus until further orders, and that applies to you two as well, you understand? You, Nishikawa, will be relieved of all your duties. You stay in your cottage until you're sent for. That's all. Dismissed.
Shoot the gun wadding, please.
This is my last appeal, son. I've watched you through your 4 years at this college as I've watched hundreds of other fine American boys. And I just can't believe, I won't believe, that an Aggie would ever let his country down.
You think I'm a heel, too, don't you?
I don't know what to think, and I don't know what you think of me.
Think of you?
Why, if there's anybody in the world you could confide in, it's me.
Pop, remember what I said the first night I came here? That it was worth coming halfway across the world just to meet you?
I remember.
That still goes, Pop.
Well, then why can't you tell me what this is all about? Mind, I don't say that you took that formula. That's between you and your conscience. But if you did...
Pop, last night you said that without your pinch of seasoning, that dish would be as useless as a fly swatter. Didn't you? Goodbye, Pop.
Goodbye, son. Be careful.
What do you think you're doing?
Getting out of here. First thing in the morning.
Well, you can't do that.
Why can't I? I'm not in the Army. I paid to come to this joint. I can resign and leave anytime I please.
I might have known you didn't have the guts to see this thing through. You never did have. Listen, you stupid mule, do you realize the fellas here are saying you're a stinking traitor?
So I gathered in the mess hall this morning.
So I gathered. Is that the best you can do? Stand there with a silly smirk on your face and say, so I gathered?
Suppose you tell me what to say, huh?
Tell them they're wrong and prove it.
I don't have to. Nobody's got anything on me. Even the bull admitted that. Let them think what they want to.
Oh, listen, Brad. You and I have been pals for almost 4 years. Does that go for me, too? Do you want me to believe that you're a dirty rat?
Can I help what you believe?
But doesn't it make any difference to you?
What are you trying to do? Go dramatic on me?
Come on, a fight! Come on! Stand up for me! One for Pop! Nina!
Nina. Look, I want to tell you that I know what the score is between you two.
You keep her out of it!
I've known it all along. And it's okay by me. Someday I'm gonna send you a wedding present. When or how, I don't know. But...
Nice work, Cyanide. Get your gear together. You're leaving here.
I know that. Tomorrow.
That's just where you're wrong, fella. You're getting out of here right now. Come on, let's package things for him.
I can do my own packing.
Oh, no, you don't.
Those are mine. I paid for them.
Shell out some dough, you guys. Come on, make it snappy. Get those clothes out of the closet.
Here they come.
That's right.
Fish Andrews is my name.
Glad to meet you.
Can't tell how that turned out, can you, Pop?
You're right, son. You never can tell.
Peace or war in the Pacific hangs in the balance as Saburo Kurusu, special envoy who flew from Japan, arrives to confer with Secretary Hull and President Roosevelt.
I wish I can still have a fighting chance to make a success of my mission.
It's war. American lives lost. American property destroyed. And throughout the nation, the news is flashed. With growing resentment, Americans learn of the treacherous assault.
Goodbye, darling.
Bye.
Aboard!
Pensacola's a long way off, isn't it?
It sure is. But I'll get a furlough when I finish my course. Then I'll be back.
And I'll meet you right here, too.
Bye.
Bye.
And so you have heard another Tokyo broadcast of messages from American prisoners of war. Open your ears to the truth, you men and women of America. The truth about Japan. It's a nation of steel, implacable, courageous, groomed and trained razor sharp for war. Think it over, my friends, and do something about it. Perhaps it is not yet too late.
Und unsere japanischen Verbündeten, welche wir nicht genug loben können, bereiten neue Schläge vor gegen diese lächerlichen Dummköpfe, die Amerikaner.
Sangue italiano sparso per la causa spagnola è il dovere di ogni persona residente in Sud America.
The Orient, I warn you. You can't win, America. Japan is too strong, too well supplied and prepared. With 9/10 of the raw materials of the Far East pouring into her factories, oil, rubber, tin from the conquered territories, and pouring out again as finished products of war, she is invincible. So make up your minds to it, America. You just can't win. Arigato.
There's tomorrow's broadcast. That ought to needle them good.
Fine. Oh, by the way, they're testing out that degassing formula of Pop Lambert's tomorrow. And if that proves all right, you'll be a big shot.
That'll be great. It's the latest U.S. newscast. Just came in.
Washington. A heavy Japanese fleet movement is suspected in the Solomons area. But so far, our task force has not been able to make contact. The enemy force, however, is thought to be considerably larger than our own.
Okay. So what's the big news you're busting to give us?
Our fleet broadcast is all set. We're all going. You, Matsui, and me.
What's up?
I don't know yet. But I'd give you 10 to 1 it's the invasion of the Solomons. We'll report aboard the carrier tomorrow.
Good.
Swell.
Planes, you folks back home. That's a Japanese dive bomber squadron taking off to give your cruiser screen a hot foot. And what a hot foot. Stand by, there'll be more in a minute.
George 2, course 180, speed 18.
Wilco. Sail 1 from X-ray 1. Sail 1 from X-ray 1. Position George 2.
Enemy George 2, course 180.
Dispatch from radio, sir.
Looks like action. One of our scout planes has sighted the Jap task force. When he was shot down, he was in area George 2, course 180.
Assuming normal speed, that should bring the enemy approximately to this point in the morning.
Which places them 400 miles away at the moment.
That's right, sir. And nothing but us between them and the Solomons if that is their objective.
But if we change course to intercept them, that should bring us within firing range by daylight tomorrow. How far is our outer screen force deployed?
Approximately 30,000 yards away on scouting line.
Instruct inner and outer screens to take action as necessary.
Aye, aye, sir.
Sail 1 from Sail X-ray jig. Enemy aircraft approaching. Bearing 025, distance 8 miles.
Enemy planes breaking through overcast. 3 points on port bow. 2,000 yards.
Enemy planes breaking through overcast.
Secondary anti-aircraft gun positions commence firing.
Secondary anti-aircraft gun positions commence firing.
Open fire!
Shot down, 3 probably hit. Sail X-ray interrogatory sinking and Sail X-ray love sunk. Increase distance between screening ships 1,000 yards to compensate for losses.
Yes, sir.
How soon are the scouts due at the end of their search leg?
In about 10 minutes, sir.
Here's a flash, folks. The first Japanese dive bomber squadron just came back from more eggs. The second is still over the target. And now I'm going up into the air to bring you a blow-by-blow description of what happened to the U.S. carrier force. And, brother, this is going to be good.
Okay, Brad. We'll write down what you say. You can record it here later. Better get going.
Keep a sharp lookout. We're approaching enemy's reported position.
I see our second squadron of dive bombers is coming back from the attack on the American screening force.
They can't land and refuel till the deck is cleared of torpedo planes. The Americans caught us now.
Yeah, I get it. We'll return to base.
Cyanide for Brad. Cyanide for Brad. Answer.
Listen, you guys. Is this a time for kidding?
Cyanide from Brad. Cyanide from Brad. Answer.
Where are you?
In the air over the enemy carrier force. Cyanide, listen carefully.
You listen carefully, copperhead. Keep out of my way if you want to stay in one piece.
Oh, listen, will you? This is on the level. Remember that wedding present I said I'd send you someday? Well, I got it for you now. present's a big one, Si, with a flat top and a large fried egg on the flight deck.
What are you trying to hand me?
It's no time to argue, Si. The chaps are probably listening. It's a matter of minutes.
Okay, then. Shoot it to me fast.
The Japs changed their course 90 degrees to due north exactly 36 minutes ago. And listen, Si, those dive bombers that finished off our screening course are still in the air. They're almost out of gas, but they can't land until the torpedo planes and fighters warming up on the flight deck take off. I'm going to try one of those lame rooster downwind landings I used to try with you and mess them up. If they can't take off, the others can't come in and we'll get them all. So, brother, come on in.
Okay, Brad. We're with you. Sail 1 from Lightning 1. Enemy carrier force steaming due north from reported position.
Pilots, man your planes. Pilots, man your planes. Pilots, man your planes. Pilots, man your planes.
This is it. Commence attack.
And so today, we feel that he is very near, this simple young American, this boy who so freely gave not only his life, but those things that free men prize much more, the regard of his friends, the love and pride of his kinfolks, the respect of the girl he loved. And if today, somewhere in this war-torn world, his soldier father is listening, here's a message. Jason, my old friend and pupil, be proud. Your son died as he had lived, an American and an Aggie. And the Congressional Medal here before me, awarded by his grateful country, is far more eloquent than the stumbling words of an old man who loved him.